Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to work on the seventh chapter of both books. So you need to have the student book as well as the other one, the workbook. You take them and we'll start, I think. Yes, let's start with the student's book, page 70. When you are there, you press on play and I'll be here as usual waiting for you. I know I talked about the fact that with this chapter we would explore the future. Yeah, the future, that's true. We are always going to talk about party, having a party. What are the verbs? What is the vocabulary that goes with organizing a party? And we'll also try to understand something that is quite usual in English and that you will need it or you will hear it well almost on a daily basis. But in the meantime, we will try to understand what is the thing I'm talking about by reading this page 70. So I'm going to organize a party with you. And let's say that I'll be Lucy, I'll be as well Fran, Kev, Oliver, Lewis. I'll be a lot of people actually. But look at me, I won't change. I'll always be the same. So let's take that page 70 and I will start. So Lucy wants to organize a party with her friends, and it seems that, well, we are going to have a big party here. So 1 week to go, everyone, just checking in. How's the music going, friend? Hold on, I've hired the DJ. I paid him a deposit. You want me to do that, didn't you? You wanted me to do that, didn't you? That's great, friend. Food, Kev? All organized. They're delivering the drinks the day after tomorrow. But what about the food? You haven't forgotten about that, have you? All sorted, Jackie. All sorted. Jackie and Pete are going to help me on the day. That's great. Anyone heard from Oliver? He promised to send out invitations by email. Anyone know if he's done it yet? What do you mean send out invitations? The party is open to everyone, isn't it? I thought we agreed to put up posters around the school. Okay, that's a better idea. No need to draw up a guest list and no invitations needed. Just the posters. Lewis, you're doing that, aren't you? Don't forget the theme. We've chosen superheroes. I thought that was Vince's job. No, I've got you down for poster. Let me know it if you can't do it. No, that's fine. I'll do it tomorrow. They'll be ready to put up in the afternoon. That should be okay, shouldn't it? Yes, and I can't help you if you want, Lewis. So can I. Great. Can you both come around to my house in the morning? Sure, but I won't be able to be there before 11. Nor will I. No problem. See you at about 11 then. Okay, that's everything I think. We just need to decorate the room the evening before and we're ready. I'm really going to enjoy this party. So am I. Lucy, is Mr. O'Brien okay with it all? What? You've asked Mr. O'Brien, haven't you? About having the party, I mean. I'm not responsible for that, am I? Yes, you are, Lucy. I've got the to-do list right here. Check with the headmaster, Lucy. I don't think we can have a party without getting permission from him to use the school hall. Neither do I. I'll do it first thing tomorrow. Sorry about that. Okay. So what do we have here? Of course, we have this club, this party organization, and every member has a responsibility. for that party. Each of them has something to do specifically, and they have to do it. But we also have another thing. Did you notice that, well, once in a while, you have something that comes back? And of course, there is the vocabulary for the party that this little text is exploring, and we'll do that not today, but another day. But there's another thing. There's also that kind of thing that we call question tags. Okay, question tags. What are those question tags, do you think? Look at it. You will find actually 5 question tags in this little text. The first one comes, well, actually quite fast. And the second, when Fran is answering to Lucy. Hold on, I've hired a DJ. I paid him a deposit. You wanted me to do that, didn't you? This "didn't you" is something that we are using to be sure of something, okay? And it's quite easy to formulate, actually. You take the first proposition of what you are saying, and then you reverse it. You say it in a positive way. You're going to ask your question will be asked in a negative way. You wanted me to do that, didn't you? So you see, you wanted me to do that. So we are in the past. You wanted. So we are going to use what? You wanted me to do that is exactly if you were saying, you did want me to do that. So you reverse that, you did want me to do that, or you wanted me. It's the same thing, absolute synonyms. And you change it. You put it in a negative way. Didn't you? Let's check the other one, okay? All organized. They're delivering the drinks the day after tomorrow. But what about the food? You haven't forgotten about that, have you? See, we are exactly doing the same thing. You haven't forgotten. We are using here the verb to have. So you haven't. If my first proposition is in the negative proposition, well, my question tag will be at the opposite. It has to be in the positive. Okay, so you have here, you haven't forgot, have you? Okay, then at the bottom we have Oliver talking at the first column. In the first column. What do you mean, send out invitations? The party is open to everyone, isn't it? Here you have the verb to be, okay? The party is open. What will be the question tag? The question tag will be, isn't it? Okay? Since it is for the party, is the party is open to everyone, isn't it? And Lucy is answering to Oliver. What is this shame? Okay, that's a better idea. No need to draw up a guest list and no invitations needed. Just the posters. Lois, you're doing that, aren't you? Okay, here the verb is not do. Actually, the verb on which we are going to work on the reverse the question is not to do. Since do here is not used as an auxiliary, but as a verb, okay? Doing something. I do the dishes, for example. It's I do something. We are not in the auxiliary verb, but at the contrary, we are here. The part that we are going to work with is you are, aren't you? Okay? You are doing that, aren't you? 1, 2, 3, 3 paragraphs from that. We have Lois answering, no, that's fine, I'll do it tomorrow. They'll be ready to put up in the afternoon. That should be okay. Shouldn't it? Should be okay. So here I have this modal verb. So with this modal verb in the positive way, my question tag will be the contrary. If I'm saying at first a positive thing, I'm saying it negative, the negative part, the negative way in the second part of my sentence. Okay, that should be okay, shouldn't it? And since I use this modal verb, I will do my question tag with this modal verb. In that case, it will be should. Should be okay. It should be okay, shouldn't it? Now we still have two other ones to come. The last column, in the middle of the third column, we have Kev. Kev, you've asked Mr. O'Brien, haven't you? Well, we are in the same case that we had earlier when Lucy was asking, you haven't forgotten about that, have you? Here it's the same. You have asked Mr. O'Brien, haven't you? Okay, we are with to have said at first in a positive way. So whooply, we are moving it in the negative way in the second part of the sentence. And just after that, I'm not responsible for that, am I? Oh, I am not. Am I? So you reverse it and you say it in the negative way, in the positive way this time. So now let's check page 71 and we'll do it together, this first part. Page 71. So complete the sentences. Look at the post on page 70 and check your answers. Use the sentences in exercise 1 to complete the rules. So this is exactly what we have just done, okay? You wanted me to do that, didn't you? The party is open to everyone, isn't it? Lois, you're doing that, aren't you? That should be okay, shouldn't it? I'm not responsible for that, am I? You haven't forgot about that, have you? So now we have the rule. Question tags are a short question which we use to check facts or make conversation. Sometimes you do it. It's a rhetorical question, actually. You do it just to be sure that the other one is still listening to you also, okay? So it depends. Sometimes it's to be sure that you are right with one thing, and sometimes it is to be sure that the other is listening to you also. So with positive statement, use a negative question tag. With negative statements, you use a positive question tag. When be is used in the statement, repeat it in a question tag. Sentences 2, 3, and 5, which are the questions already pointed out for you. With modal verbs, can, might, and others, and most other verb forms, repeat the modal or the auxiliary verb in the question tag. Sentences 4 and 6. That should be okay, shouldn't it? You haven't forgotten about, they say 4 and 6, yeah? You haven't forgotten about that, have you? Once again. And finally, with present or past simple verbs, use do, don't, does, doesn't, present simple, or did, didn't in the past simple. Okay, we have the example in the first sentence. You wanted me to do that, didn't you? Okay, I think that's quite easy. I hope my explanation were quite clear. So I will ask you now to start the second exercise, page 71. When you are ready, you come back, and I'm sorry, since I took a little time here, I will have to split into videos. Okay, so and see you in the next video.